Hello students, welcome back to the new session. In this session, we are going to find how the ray gets deviated through a rectangular glass slab, and we need to show the angle of deviation for a rectangular glass slab is equal to 0 degrees. For rectangular glass slab, the light ray suffers 0 degrees deviation, that we need to prove by considering rectangular glass slab. For this purpose, we need to take a rectangular glass slab as shown here. So let us say the rectangular glass slab is A, B, C, D. So we have taken the rectangular glass slab A, B, C, D is a rectangular glass slab. Now take a cardboard, on it fix a white chart or thick white paper with the help of pins at the four corners. Now you need to place this rectangular glass slab ABCD at the center of that cardboard, on which already we have fixed that white sheet. Now with the help of pencil, trace the outer edges of that rectangular glass slab and we will get ABCD as its outer edges. Right. Now draw the two normals N1, N2 and N3, N4 as shown here. N1, N2, N3, N4 as shown here. Okay, clear. Now we need to send an incident ray. So let us suppose that incident ray is SO. So SO is the incident ray which makes angle of incidence I at the normal for the side CD of the rectangular glass slab. So what we are doing? We are sending an incident ray, namely SO, from the point source of light, which makes certain angle of incidence, that is I, with the normal at the side CD of the rectangular glass slab. Clear? So what is the medium present for that light ray? Yes, the light ray which contains the light ray, for the path of the light ray, it has to move from the air to glass. Now we need to analyze whether glass is denser or rarer. With respect to air, glass is denser medium. And now RDTN condition. What is RDTN condition? So when a light ray travels from optical rarer medium to optical denser medium, after refraction it bends towards the normal. So therefore it is bending towards the normal. Again, this refracted ray meets the side AB. This refracted ray meets the side AB as incident ray. For the side AB of the rectangular glass slab. Again, as it is moving from denser to rarer, the ray deviates from the normal, away from the normal. This ray is called emergent ray, and here we can mark as P and M, right? So P, M as the emergent ray. Now first of all, let us see what are the different rays present in this rectangular glass slab. So the different rays present in the rectangular glass slab is number one, SO, incident ray. SO is incident ray, then OP refracted ray, OP refracted ray. Now PM emergent ray. So we have named all the rays which are present in the figure, So what are the different rays present in the figure? SO is an incident ray, OP is the refracted ray, and PM is the emergent ray. Now the actual task begins. So what is our aim? Our aim is to find the angle of deviation, or to show the angle of deviation suffered by rectangular glass slab, suffered by a light ray which passes through the rectangular glass slab is 0 degrees. In order to show that, we need to take two pins and we need to place in the path of incident ray wherever we want, but on the incident ray, in the path of incident ray, we need to place first two pins. As the light ray is passing through the two pins, incident ray is passing through the two pins, and the glass slab is present. So we have to trace the images for these pins. Let us suppose these pins are X and Y. These pins are X and Y. We are naming that pins. So we need to check their images, position of images through that rectangular glass slab from the side CD. So by keeping that position in our mind, we need to place two more pins. On the position where we see the image through the glass slab. By seeing through the glass slab, wherever we get the positions of the image, we need to place the two pins. Let us mark that two pins as X dash and Y dash. If we see through the glass slab, that appears in the straight line. That X dash, Y dash, X and Y appears in the straight line. Okay. Now take out that glass slab from the position and see what actually the ray suffers. As the light ray passing through that rectangular glass slab, while we are seeing through the glass slab, we can feel that the two actual pins and the image positions appear in the straight line, but they are not actually in straight line. As shown in the figure, the path of that two image pins are also there, that is on the path of the refracted ray. Now try to extend the incident ray, as shown here in the form of dotted lines, white dotted lines. Place here two pins, namely, already M completed, right? Now we will take R and Q. Now these two pins, why we place in order to get the points. So X, Y, R, Q, try to join with the help of scale. By using the pencil, we can get a straight line. So if the slab not there, the incident ray passes in the straight line, following the rectilinear propagation of light. As we have placed the rectangular glass slab in the path of light ray, the light ray suffers refraction. The light ray suffers refraction. Now what we have done? We have done the incident ray extension has done here. Now see these two rays. See the two rays. So how these two rays appears? These two rays are parallel to each other. Parallel to each other. What are the two rays? First one is emergent ray MP is parallel to extended incident ray, that is QR. So actually what is the total ray? SOQR. SOQR is the total incident ray. So emergent ray appears parallel to the extended incident ray. The emergent ray appears parallel to the incident ray. See here, we can see from the figure. So this is the path of extended incident ray and this is emergent ray. How these two rays are looks like? They are parallel. They are parallel. So if the lines are parallel, what is the angle between them? If the lines are parallel or if the rays are parallel, the angle between them is 0 degrees. So if the rays are parallel, the angle between them is 0 degrees. If the rays are parallel, the angle between them is 0 degrees. Okay students, now our task is done, almost done. So if the rays are parallel, the angle between them is 0 degrees. Now try to measure the distance between the extended incident ray and the emergent ray with the help of scale. That is called our required parallel shift. Right. So what is called the parallel shift? The distance between the extended incident ray and the emergent ray. That is the two rays which appears parallel. If we are able to measure the distance, that is called parallel shift. Now the thing is, why this shift happens when the light ray passes through the rectangular glass slab? So now we are only saying we have taken a rectangular glass slab. Due to the presence of rectangular glass slab, if glass slab is not there, this is the fate of the incident ray. The light ray passes in a straight line. As we have placed the rectangular glass slab, the ray shifts somewhat towards its right side. This is called shift. Shift has taken place due to the presence of rectangular glass slab. Now what is called parallel shift? What is the definition of parallel shift? So parallel shift, the distance between the extended incident ray, the distance between the extended incident ray incident ray and the emergent ray is called parallel shift. This is also called horizontal shift. The distance between the extended incident ray and the emergent ray is called parallel shift or horizontal shift. Now, students, the examiner may ask a question like this: explain an activity to show the angle of deviation produced by a rectangular glass slab is 0 degrees. That is one way of asking question. Another way is explain an activity to find the parallel shift when a light ray passes through the rectangular glass slab. This is other way of asking. For both questions, the content is same, just one or two steps extension. If they ask angle of deviation produced by rectangular glass slab is 0 degrees, so if you show the two rays are parallel to each other, that is extended incident ray and emergent ray parallel to each other, your task, your job completed. If they ask parallel shift, again you need to find the distance between that two rays. Which two rays? Extended incident ray and emergent ray. Extended incident ray and emergent ray. So, let us see what we have done in this session. So, first of all, we have taken the rectangular glass slab. Before taking that rectangular glass slab, we have to take a cardboard on a white paper which is already fixed with the help of clamps or pins, right. Now, we need to place this rectangular glass slab at the center of the board and draw the edges of that rectangular glass slab with the help of pencil and name them as A, B, C, D. So, therefore, A, B, C, D is our rectangular glass slab. Consider the normals, draw the normals N1, N2 for the side AB and N3, N4 for the side CD as shown in the figure. Now, from the side CD, try to send an incident ray SO which makes certain angle of incidence with the normal, with the normal. Now, as the slab is present, the light ray suffers refraction. As it is moving from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Again, from the side AB, this refracted ray meets AB as incident ray, and again which comes outside due to refraction from denser to rarer. When the light ray moves from denser to rarer, after refraction it bends away from the normal. That all you know very well. Our actual task is to show the angle of deviation 0 degrees. For that purpose, you need to place two pins which have heads on the path of incident ray. Try to name them. I have named them as X, Y as shown here. Right. Now, see through the slab. See through the slab where you get the image positions of the two pins, namely X and Y. We need to place the two more pins at the image positions by seeing through the slab only. If you see from the outside, you can't keep the image positions. You have to see through the slab from the same side. Initially, from which side you have kept pins. That pins image positions, therefore, we mark them as X dash and Y dash. So, if you see through the slab, how this X, Y and X dash, Y dash positions looks like? This looks like they are in the straight line, but if you take out the slab, you can see the rays like this. So, that means the ray suffers refraction when it passes through the glass slab, right. Now try to extend the incident ray as shown here. Now this extended incident ray and the emergent ray, how it looks like. So here we have named the different rays present in this rectangular glass slab, like SO is the incident ray, OP is the refracted ray, and PM is the emergent ray. So now we are talking about the emergent ray and the extended incident ray. So what is the extended incident ray? So here SO is incident ray, extended incident ray is from O to R, OQR, or simply QR. Now try to see how this extended incident ray and the emergent ray looks like. They looks like parallel to each other. They looks like parallel to each other. Now we know the emergent ray appears parallel to the incident ray, parallel to the extended incident ray, If the rays are parallel, the angle between them is 0. If you consider two lines which are parallel, say for example, take railway track, rail lines which are parallel to each other. What is the angle between such railway lines? It is 0 degrees. Whatever the lines which are parallel to each other, if we consider the angle between such parallel lines, the angle is 0. Hence here we have proved that the emergent ray and the extended incident ray are parallel to each other. Hence the angle of deviation suffered by the light ray when passes through the glass slab, rectangular glass slab, is 0 degrees. Right. Now try to find the distance between this extended incident ray and the emergent ray with the help of scale and name as some delta D, small distance. Therefore I have marked it as delta D. It is called parallel shift. So now the definition of parallel shift is the distance between the extended incident ray and the emergent ray is called parallel shift. This parallel shift is also called horizontal shift. Hope you understand the concept. If you have any doubt, feel free to contact me. Thank you. Meet you in the next session.